This video is going to be brought to you by G Fuel, and I'm extremely excited to tell you guys that G Fuel has now gone Sage Mode for the first time ever with the first G Fuel Naruto Sage Mode hydration tub, the very first Naruto flavor in the hydration line. You guys know that I've said in the past that I'll drink G Fuel for a quick boost of energy to get the morning started when I'm working on content. But what makes the hydration line different is the Naruto Sage Mode tub has 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, and 0 calories, but it's packed with all those important vitamins and electrolytes, and most importantly, it tastes amazing. Up until now, the only things I've tried from G Fuel have been their energy drinks and their protein puffs, but after trying the hydration tub, I strongly recommend it to you guys because it has that grapefruit white peach flavor that slaps as hard as Daemon stomped out code. Use my link down in the description box and the pinned comment to get yours today, and use my discount code KAGE for your discount. Again, go to gfuel.com or use my affiliate link and use my promo code KAGE in order to get your discount. Thank you again to G Fuel for partnering with me on today's video. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to touch on something that I've been itching to discuss ever since we got our hands on the full manga chapter for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 6, which is in the last manga chapter. We had a moment that confirmed something we've touched on in the past, and it looks like the story is continuing to add layers onto it, which is the dynamic between Kawaki and Ada, which longtime viewers of the channel know we've been raising red flags for these two from the moment that Kawaki's obsession with Naruto became a central plot point. And when Ada told Boruto that she'd refused for using her Sharingan powers to track down Boruto in Boruto chapter 80 of Boruto Naruto Next Generation, saying even if Kawaki or Shikamaru asked her to, she would refuse to use it, we said that there would likely be more underlying tension with Kawaki and Ada actually being built in, which by extension involves Daemon, and now we have another layer added onto this. Based on what we see in chapter 6 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, we see Ada bringing Kawaki up to speed on the situation with Code and the claw grimes, and just what it was that Boruto meant when he warned Code that he had changed the claw grimes on a fundamental level, and that Code was responsible for creating this worst possible scenario that all of them had to deal with now, which we now know is of course the awakening of the shinjuu. And it was during this conversation that we saw Ada tell Kawaki the truth that absolutely startled him. The claw grimes weren't just after Kawaki and Boruto. They were also after people who they designated as targets to consume, in particular Naruto being one of them. Upon hearing this, Kawaki's attention shifted to only Naruto, and when Ada reveals that she is also a target of the shinjuu, Kawaki treats it like it's an afterthought, not even bothering to acknowledge what it was that she just said. And in the manga, Ada's eyes are focused on up close, and you can see it in the hurt in her eyes when Kawaki's attention is only onto Naruto. That meme of he's only talking about his ex is basically being applied here as far as this dynamic goes. Kawaki is acting like that person who still hasn't moved on from the last relationship and is in the process of fumbling the one that they're currently in because they don't realize what it is that's right in front of them. Now, the reason why this is something I enjoyed so much is the implications for the future foreshadowing. It's all there. Kawaki doesn't view Ada as a priority anymore. He merely tolerates her, and Ada's behavior in this chapter is part of why I enjoy the character, because she's a fascinating case study as a character. Enough so I've actually need to record this 6-page script I have on Ada for a video essay. But here's the thing. Look at her actions and the behavior in this chapter. It's very subtle storytelling and it's long-term booking, but you see the seeds are there. She knew that if she told Kawaki she was a target of the shinjuu, that Kawaki wouldn't care. Notice how when she updated him on the situation, she kept it short in terms of telling him about Code running off after the shinjuu evolved, because it was just enough to give Kawaki what he needed to be engaged, because Code is on the list of people who Kawaki wants to kill, because Code is a danger to Naruto and Kawaki wants to eliminate all threats to Naruto. That's the reason he sealed him away, and that's something that Ada knows. When she gives him more of a reason to listen by giving into the reveal of the shinjuu are also actively targeting Naruto as a result of this, and as expected, hearing this news has Kawaki's full attention, which is at that moment that Ada tries to slip in the fact that she was also a target, because had she led off with that information, Kawaki wouldn't have paid as much attention to it and he wouldn't have been as engaged. But by slipping in here, Kawaki's full attention was right there, and she knows for a fact that Kawaki would have heard it. It's a manipulation tactic to a degree, but it's more so that she's aware that when it comes to Kawaki's heart, the person who she desires the most, she is a distant second place at best. Naruto will always come first for Kawaki, which, going back to Ada's character introduction, you can see why this would hurt her as much as it does, because when she was shown referring to Boruto and Kawaki being people who are immune to her power to control hearts, she and Code referred to Boruto and Kawaki as being her princes. She referred to Daemon and Code later on in the manga as being her knights, which means Ada views herself as being a princess looking for a prince to become her queen to his king. It's a delusional state of mind that you have a lot of girls slash young women like my niece who buy into this whole Disney fairy tale princess stuff that gets fed to them at a young age, but she's someone obsessed with finding love and her options are limited, like a princess waiting in a tower for the brave prince to slay the dragon and rescue her, the dragon being her ability to control hearts, preventing her from finding love, and them being immune to it being the way that it's slayed because she can latch on to the love. Finding love is her way of escaping the tower. For someone like her, knowing that she isn't at the top of Kawaki's heart and is a second spot at best, but likely she's a distant third considering that Boruto has that strong bond with Kawaki as well, it's something that is crushing for her, which is why she tried to sneak in her situation at the end. In the close-up of her eyes, it was paneled to show the reaction to his non-response to the plight of her situation, which makes that next panel a Daemon watching the scene, eyes looking directly over at Kawaki at a slanted position, actually pay off. Her knight in Daemon wasn't pleased by that, and his continued no response to Ada being in danger either. We're in that really funky period where Ada knows she's expendable to Kawaki. I called her Kawaki's sneaky link in my chapter review for a reason. She's only as useful to him as her Sharingan is able to serve as his eyes and ears in the process. He can use her to locate the threats that need to be eliminated and use her to keep tabs on people like Sarada, who he knows are in open opposition to him. She's not someone who he loves. She's merely someone who is a chess piece that he will be willing to sacrifice when the time comes. Similar to how Sasuke viewed Karin Uzumaki when she was held hostage by Danzo, and Sasuke used her as an opportunity to strike a fatal blow on Danzo. It's an interesting character dynamic, and it does make you wonder if this isn't Kishimoto playing with another aspect from Naruto's manga, where he had Sasuke look obsessed and spiraling, only to have someone like Kakashi drop the whole narration that, to paraphrase Kakashi's words, even when Sasuke couldn't love himself, someone like Sakura never stopped loving him in the process. Look, Kishimoto is not skilled at writing romance. He's admitted as much himself, so this isn't even me dragging the guy. Yes, he's gotten better as shown by Samurai 8, though you could argue Hachimaru and Anne, it was something deeper than romance itself, but through that manga, he showcased that the issue he had with Naruto, again by his own words, not knowing how to effectively convey female emotions when it came to love and giving them motives that aren't triggered by romantic interest, is something that he has improved upon. You can still do a battle shonen and have romantic elements, and the romantic elements don't take over the story. Togashi did it beautifully with Yu Yu Hakusho. The way this is right now, it can either go one of two ways. Either Kawaki cashes in on Ada when the time is right and she's outlived her usefulness, unless he's a complete idiot like Damian Priest, or he is shown keeping her around, and just when it looks like he's at his lowest point, someone wakes him up to the fact that he's got a baddie sitting right there waiting for him the entire time he was stuck on this obsession with Naruto, which would fit his character honestly. Kawaki means dry. To be dry means not just for him to have those cracked lips that look like they haven't seen chapstick a day in their lives, but it also means to be unfulfilled by the rivers of love. He wasn't used to a father's love, and he couldn't handle it. He got everything that he thought he wanted by getting Boruto's life, yet we see it as plain as day. He's not happy with it, and he's annoyed by the things that he's having to deal with from people whose memories were swapped and view him through the same loving eyes that they had towards Boruto. He can't handle love because he's never truly known love before until he met Naruto, and he's so fixated on Naruto that he shut himself off to everything else. He's a lot like what guys would go through the first time they end up with a baddie. Most guys who have never been there before don't know how to handle that and the attention that she's going to get in real life when you're going out and people looking at her, or she's got guy friends waiting for you to screw up so they can shoot their shot, not knowing that for every Patrick Mahomes story where the guy was in the friend zone with his future wife for pretty much his entire high school and middle school life, for every success story like that, most of them flame out. And on social media, she's getting all these likes and everything. Those guys end up either smother her by trying to do everything possible to keep her from leaving, or they mess up the relationship and they end up pushing her away. Then it takes them even longer than it should for them to get over her. Kawaki did that with Naruto. Kawaki was pushing Naruto away before he sealed him away, with Naruto even saying, yo dude, you're starting to creep me out. You're being really creepy right now. And he's being written to start pushing away people who had their memories altered by omnipotence. Kawaki was given everything and he's going to lose it, and this chapter is setting the stage for him to either lose Ada by willingly sacrificing her, or have Ada be the last one that's left standing there in his corner when he inevitably faces Boruto at the end. And someone like Boruto or Sarada is going to point out how she continued to love him in spite all the wrong decisions that Kawaki continued to make. It's so interesting to see the dynamic between these two characters, 3 when you add in Daemon, and there are so many red herrings and seeds for conflict that are being brewed right now, which makes the uncertainty as of this chapter, which direction things would go, so interesting as a reader, especially given the wildcard factor we have in Daemon, which Daemon was watching Kawaki with close eyes, is rivaled only by how much attention to detail my editor played with this Jujutsu Kaisen chapter review you see on the screen, so make sure to check it out if you haven't already.